Close up! Follow me!
The story kicks off in a secret laboratory hidden deep in the sticky, sweltering heat of Malaysia. Yelena Belova moves like a ghost through the shadows, quiet and deadly as she takes down guards with quick, precise strikes. She's on a mission to grab some important hard drives connected to something called Project Sentry. Her face stays cold and focused, showing no emotion until she runs into a nervous scientist. He tells her something shocking. Their experiments aren't just science projects, they're trying to create gods. The scientist, his voice shaking, warns Yelena that taking these hard drives won't save the world. Instead, it could bring about its total destruction. He tries to tell her about Valentina's true, shady intentions, but Yelena isn't interested in his explanations. With a swift move, she snatches the gun right out of his hands. Ignoring his warnings, Yelena destroys the terminal and sets off an explosion that engulfs the lab in flames, the blazing fire reflecting the storm of emotions churning inside her. The scene shifts to a tense congressional hearing where Valentina Allegra de Fontaine stands tall, defending herself against serious accusations. The room buzzes with whispers as claims swirl that she's been running secret experiments in her labs, using humans as test subjects to create a superhuman with unmatched power, aiming to dominate the world. One bold congressman fires off a barrage of tough questions, trying to corner her, but Valentina responds with calm, professional answers, her voice steady and fearless. She boldly challenges the committee, inviting them to dig deeper into their investigations, daring them to find any solid proof that could lead to her impeachment. She dismisses their accusations as nothing but rumors, insisting there's no concrete evidence to back up their claims. Watching from the congressional pews is Bucky Barnes, once the feared Winter Soldier and now a conflicted congressman. After the hearing wraps up, Valentina pulls her trusted assistant, Mel, aside in a private moment, issuing a quiet but firm order to destroy any evidence that could tie her to the allegations. Mel nods, assuring her that everything has been wiped clean except for one loose end, Yelena Belova, along with a few others who've done Valentina's dirty work and might know too much. The scene cuts to Yelena, who's shaking with grief and exhaustion, seeking solace in a visit to Red Guardian, her father, who's now living a quiet, simple life. Her heart feels heavy, and she confesses to him that she's numb, haunted by memories of her late sister, Natasha, whose presence lingers like a ghost. Though Red Guardian is her father, their relationship has been strained, fractured by past conflicts over Natasha. Yelena's visit isn't just for comfort. She's there to pour out her frustration, admitting she's fed up with working for others, especially Valentina. She's tired of being a pawn in dangerous games, her spirit worn down by the weight of her choices and the secret she carries. As Yelena steps out, still reeling from her emotional visit with Red Guardian, her phone buzzes with a call from Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Valentina's voice is smooth but urgent, offering Yelena a new mission unlike any before, one with high stakes and a dangerous purpose. She's sent to a hidden, heavily guarded vault, tasked with a grim order: eliminate Ghost and anyone else she finds inside, leaving no survivors. Yelena arrives at the shadowy facility, her senses sharp, but the moment she steps in, everything spirals into chaos. John Walker and Taskmaster appear out of nowhere, and the scene explodes into violence. In a flash, Ghost takes aim and kills Taskmaster with a single, precise shot, leaving Yelena and Walker stunned, their hearts racing. Amid the chaos, they stumble upon a chilling sight: Bob Reynolds, frozen in a pod, his body locked in a strange, icy chamber. The truth hits them like a punch they've been set up. Valentina orchestrated this mission as a trap, a clever plan to wipe out her loose ends, including Yelena, Walker, and anyone else who could expose her secrets and lead to her impeachment. It's a cold, calculated move to eliminate her operatives without ever getting her own hands dirty. As Yelena, Walker, and Ghost scramble to escape the vault, every exit door slams shut with a heavy clang, as if programmed to trap them. Valentina, watching from afar, knows her past human experiments failed, but Bob is different. The one success she can't afford to lose. Ghost, realizing the mission is a setup, heads for the door, but a loud, buzzing radiation sound fills the air, making everyone tremble. It's clear now, their mission was sabotaged, and they're all trapped with no way out unless they work together. They quickly figure out the vault is an incinerator, its countdown ticking down to burn them alive. Ghost manages to slip out, racing to open the door from the outside while Yelena and Walker wait, hearts pounding as the timer nears 0. Miraculously, Ghost gets the door open just in time, and they escape the fiery trap. But something strange happens with Bob when his hand brushes against the others. Each is hit with a flood of painful memories. Yelena relives her betrayal of Natasha in the Red Room, guilt crashing over her. Walker sees his shattered marriage, the pain raw. Ghost recalls her heartbreaking past, her chest tightening. Unknowingly, Yelena forms a quiet bond with Bob. Noticing his loneliness and how he mutters to himself, she asks why he seems so lost. His face darkens, and with a heavy voice he says, "I'm a void, nothing you do can fix me." Yelena, undeterred, tries to offer him a spark of hope, urging him to see a brighter side. Together, they flee through a crumbling, seemingly endless tunnel, the walls shaking around them. Meanwhile, back at Congress, Valentina throws a lavish party, celebrating herself as the mastermind behind a new Avengers program she's building for her own gain. Her assistant, Mel, sees her boss's corrupt moves and decides to act. Quietly, Mel leaks Valentina's next steps to Bucky Barnes, the former Winter Soldier, now a congressman, hoping he'll stop her. Valentina soon learns that Bob, her surviving experiment, is still alive. She rallies her private military and storms the project site to test if her Project Sentry truly succeeded. Yelena, desperate to escape, tries to restart the power system, but it's jammed, leaving them cornered. The group fights Valentina's soldiers, carving out a slim chance to flee. They hijack a military van, but patrolling guards block their path. In a selfless act, Bob stays behind to hold them off, giving his new friends a chance to escape. The military opens fire, and Bob collapses, seemingly dead. Valentina orders her troops to stop, watching closely. Then, astonishingly, Bob rises unscathed, his body free of wounds. He begins to float, rising into the air, leaving Yelena, Walker, and Ghost in awe. Valentina smirks, knowing her experiment worked. But moments later, Bob crashes to the ground with a massive force, triggering an earthquake that sends debris flying and shakes the entire site. As the dust settles, the escape team learns the truth. Bob is the Golden Guardian of Good, the heart of Project Sentry. When daylight breaks, Valentina orders her men to transport Bob to a new facility using a chipper. As Yelena, Ghost, and Walker trudge through the scorching desert, desperate to find their way back to safety, a vehicle suddenly speeds toward them, kicking up clouds of sand. To Yelena's surprise, it's her father, Red Guardian, behind the wheel. They pile into his rugged truck, relieved to escape the endless dunes, but their relief is short-lived. A squad of Valentina's military trackers closes in, their vehicles roaring with the clear intent to kill the group. Just when it seems they're cornered, Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, appears out of nowhere. With deadly precision, he takes down the assassins, saving the team from certain death. But instead of letting them go, Bucky disables Red Guardian's truck and takes Yelena, Ghost, Walker, and Red Guardian captive, planning to use them as evidence to bring down Valentina in her impeachment trial. The group pleads with him, insisting they were set up by Valentina. But Bucky doesn't buy their story, not yet. Then his phone buzzes with a call from Mel, Valentina's assistant, who warns him that Valentina is spiraling out of control and that Project Sentry is a catastrophic disaster waiting to happen. Convinced by Mel's urgency, Bucky unties the group and asks them to join him in taking down Valentina. At first, none of them agree, wary of jumping into another fight. But Bucky's conviction sways them, and one by one, they change their minds, ready to face their true enemy. Valentina, the woman who manipulated them like pawns in her dangerous game. Bucky prepares to bring them to testify against her, but Mel leaks critical intel that shifts their plans. The team, once fractured by distrust and their own haunted pasts, comes together with a new sense of purpose, united to stop Valentina's schemes. Meanwhile, Valentina works tirelessly to manipulate Bob Reynolds, getting inside his head with carefully chosen words. She speaks to him with false empathy, claiming she understands the pain and confusion he's feeling, convincing him that she's the only one he can trust. With her smooth, persuasive talk, she plants doubts about Yelena, Ghost, and Walker, twisting their actions to make Bob believe his friends are the real enemies, out to betray him. Bob, vulnerable and lost, falls for her convincing words, placing his trust in Valentina despite her hidden intentions. Her true goal is clear: to build a new Avengers team, one she can completely control, rising from the ashes of the old one to serve her own agenda, with Bob as her key weapon. Yelena, Ghost, Walker, and Bucky launch a daring assault on the repurposed Avengers Watchtower, determined to stop Bob from fully becoming the unstoppable Sentry under Valentina's control. They storm through the high-tech corridors, fighting their way forward with fierce determination. Walker smashes through heavy doors with brute force, clearing their path. Ghost slips through defenses, phasing effortlessly past security systems and guards. When they finally reach Valentina's command center, Bucky lunges to grab her, but an invisible force stops him in his tracks, holding him frozen. Bob, now transformed into the powerful Sentry, turns on them with terrifying strength. He crushes Bucky's vibranium arm like it's nothing and tosses the team around like rag dolls, their bodies slamming against the walls. But in a sudden shift, Bob's trust in Valentina wavers. He confronts her, his voice shaking with anger, shouting that no one, not even her, truly understands the torment he's enduring. Seizing the moment, Mel rushes in and activates a hidden kill switch, temporarily halting Bob's rampage. But the pause is fleeting, and the team knows they're running out of time to stop him and Valentina's dangerous plan. As Bob regains control, his buried trauma surges to the surface, unleashing his dark alter ego, the Void. With terrifying speed, he begins tearing through the city, wreaking havoc and destruction. Buildings crumble, streets crack, and panic spreads as fear grips the citizens, their eyes wide with terror at the chaos unfolding. Amid the destruction, Ghost, Red Guardian, and Walker leap into action, working together to save trapped civilians, pulling them from rubble and guiding them to safety. As the chaos briefly calms, the grateful citizens cheer, clapping for the trio's teamwork and bravery, whispering among themselves, "Could this be the rise of a new Avengers?" But the moment of hope is shattered. In a strange, eerie interval, people around them start vanishing, sucked into shadowy memory loops, and New York plunges into an unnatural darkness that swallows the city whole. Despite their efforts, the team realizes Bob, as the Void, is far too powerful. Neither they nor the military can stop him. Yelena, undeterred, steps into the heart of the suffocating darkness, drawn to Bob's fractured mind, determined to reach the tormented soul behind the destruction. Inside Bob's mind, Yelena navigates a maze of endless corridors filled with his dark, haunting memories. To help him, she must first confront the pain of his past. She finds Bob cowering in a small, dimly lit room, a corner of his mind where he feels safe, too afraid to move to other rooms filled with worse memories.
At least I found a nice room.
"This is the safest place in my memories," he whispers, his voice trembling. But even here, he's tormented by abuse. Yelena kneels beside him, her voice soft but firm, saying, "You are more than your sins." The Void, Bob's dark alter ego, surges forward, trying to stoke his anger, pushing him toward a rage that could trap him in darkness forever.
I'm stronger than you. Let's see.
Yelena senses the danger and acts fast.
Bob, stop!
Rushing to Bob's side and gripping his shoulders, reminding him, "I'm here with you." Bucky, Walker, Ghost, and Red Guardian arrive, each placing a hand on Bob, their combined empathy forming a warm light that pierces the suffocating shadows. Bob hesitates, his eyes filled with pain and uncertainty, caught between his torment and the hope his friends offer. In a sudden, blinding flash, the Void's grip on Bob fades away, retreating into the depths of his mind. New York snaps back to reality, the eerie darkness lifting as people and places that had vanished into shadowy memory loops reappear. Bob stands dazed, his memory wiped clean of the chaos he caused as the Void, unaware of the destruction he unleashed. As the team recovers, they spot Valentina in the distance, making a call for extraction, her voice sharp and commanding. Yelena, Bucky, Walker, Ghost, and Red Guardian rush toward her, determined to confront her and make her answer for her manipulative schemes. But it's a trap. As they close in, Valentina steps into the spotlight, surrounded by flashing cameras and a swarm of reporters. With a triumphant smile, she announces to the world that the Thunderbolts Yelena, Bucky, Walker, Ghost, and Red Guardianare, the new Avengers.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the new Avengers.
Heroes risen from the chaos. Yelena locks eyes with Valentina and whispers under her breath.
We own you now.
The team's world has changed in an instant. They're no longer Valentina's pawns, but are now seen as protectors. Their new role thrust upon them in the public eye. Meanwhile, Walker is locked in a lively debate with Sam Wilson about what to call the new Avengers, their voices rising over whether the name still fits their team's gritty reality. Suddenly, the room falls silent as a breaking news alert flashes on a nearby screen. A sleek spacecraft with a bold 4 emblazoned on its side descends from the sky. It's the Fantastic Four. The title of this movie is in the description. If this recap kept you on the edge, don't forget to hit that subscribe, drop a like, and share with every Marvel fan you know. Recap Realm got you. More recaps like this are coming, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. Thanks for watching.